I'm sure you've said it to yourself. I've said it. I'm no good at sales. I don't like sales. I still remember being the worst kid in seventh grade trying to sell magazine subscriptions. In Cub Scouts, I was the worst kid selling peanut brittle, knocking door to door. So I get it if you tell yourself, I'm no good at sales. I don't like sales. It feels icky. Well, maybe it all depends on what you are selling. The most effective salespeople start off by making a decision of what to sell. You will be so much more effective if you select something you believe in, that you like, that you genuinely feel this product or this service will help somebody. It will improve their life, make them healthier, give them some joy, save them money, something. If you focus on that first, you will be a much more effective salesperson. When you're selling, you need to really look at the conversation through the eyes, put yourself in the position of the prospect, the person you're selling to. The problem so many people have when they're trying to sell something, whether it is over the phone, over Zoom, in a video like this, in a one-on-one conversation, knocking door to door, is they tell themselves, let me quickly dump all the bullet points, all the facts about this product. Let me overwhelm someone with all the attributes of this product so that they have to buy. Well, no, they don't have to buy based on facts, based on data points, based on every single feature. In fact, that's one of the biggest mistakes bad salespeople make, is they just keep on describing the feature. Here's this feature. Here's this feature. Back in the late 1990s, there were dozens of companies selling MP3 players. Look at how much storage we have. Look at all the features our MP3 player has. Look at the weight and the microns look at the processor speed of our MP3 player. There were a lot of different people selling MP3 players. Until one day, Steve Jobs said, I'm going to sell an MP3 player, and I'm not going to call it an MP3 player. I'm going to call it an iPod. And I'm not going to bore people with tedious fact after fact and number and scientific and technological jargon. Instead, I'm going to say, imagine 1,000 songs in your pocket. He was looking at this through the eyes of the consumer, of the user, of the prospect, the actual customer, and describing it so that they could instantly understand the benefit. Because I'm old enough to remember the days when people would walk around with a giant photo album with dozens or hundreds of CDs. And even before that, people would walk around with tons and tons of albums. And it was not convenient at all. So by him describing this as, hey, 1,000 songs in your pocket, you're listening to it anywhere, anytime, whatever you want, it instantly made people want it, made them want to buy. It made him a great salesperson. Now, we can't all invent iPods. I understand that. But if you do have to sell something, we all can actually try to sell from the standpoint of the prospect, of the customer. What are they trying to change in their life? What about your product or service is going to make their life easier, faster, smoother, more efficient, more profitable, or more entertaining? If you consistently look at a product you're selling through the lens of your customer, you're going to be infinitely more successful. And certainly if you have a chance to talk one-on-one to a customer, you've got to make this a conversation. People will say over and over, I don't want to listen to some sales pitch. But if they feel like you're having a conversation, people like to be listened to. They like it when you hear their concerns, when you give them attention. So the best salespeople actually spend more time listening than talking. That's why it's always a bad idea, especially if it's a one-on-one meeting sales pitch, to just start off with, well, let me go through all my slides first. Hold all your questions till the end. No. Never ask a prospect to hold a question till the end. If someone you're trying to sell something to has a question, at that particular moment, the most important thing in the entire room, the most important thing online, if it's an online meeting, the most important thing in your presentation is clearing up the confusion in their head right now. They're actually doing you a favor by asking you a question, because now we know with 100% certainty that the next thing out of your mouth is going to be profoundly relevant and interesting to your prospect. Now, they might not like your answer. The question might be, will you give this to me for free or a 50% discount? And you can't do that. But whatever the question is, we know they're going to be listening to your answer. So you've drawn them back in. The problem with so many sales presentations these days is people aren't listening. If it's a sales presentation and a TV ad, people have switched over to their iPad. If you're on a Zoom meeting on an iPad, people have switched over and multitasking on their cell phone. And if it's a face-to-face meeting and there's more than one person in the audience, people are looking at their cell phone and only giving you half their attention. So you've got to make this interesting to them and relevant to them. And that's why the more you answer questions, the more this will seem like a conversation. You will actually get the attention of the audience, because no sale takes place if you don't get the attention of the audience. A sales presentation is a particular type of presentation. It's not enough to simply come across comfortable, confident, relaxed. You want to do that in any presentation. It's not enough to speak in words that people can understand. You've got to do that in any presentation. It's not enough to get people to remember your message. You do want to do that in any presentation. But in a sales presentation, you have to do all of those things and get people to the point where they not only understand your message and remember it, but they see how what it is you're selling benefits them to the point where whatever it is you're trying to get from them, whether it's money or a vote or anything else, they view it as a fair exchange and that it's worth them investing their time, energy, vote, money to get what it is you are selling. That's the real challenge of a sales presentation.